Say welcome to Joe Wednesday. Hi everybody, welcome back to Joe Wednesdays. How we doing? Look what's new for us. Whoa! Isn't that cool, lady? Yeah. So that's what we ended up doing this weekend. We actually found one of those little tyke play sets on the Facebook Marketplace that we got for a really good price, and we picked it up this weekend and brought it home. And Leah's been playing on it quite a bit, even in the short couple of days that we've had it. So it's been a really good find. Oh my god, it's so hard to get apart though, because I mean, like, all of the, I don't know how people like were doing this on a regular basis in their backyards, but like all of the pieces and parts, like, they're kind of put together in a way that, like, it's basically just friction holding them together, and each part is like needs to be taken apart in the opposite direction on certain spaces, and it's just like, it was such a hassle to get apart, to get the slide back into the slot, and then once I got the slide back in, then I couldn't get it back together because of all the different pieces and parts that had to be in just a certain way. And oh my goodness, it was a hassle to wrestle, but definitely worth the effort. Let's see, in other new purchase newses, we also got a new rocking chair for Lydia's room. The previous one that we had in there was one of those like sliding rocker ones, but like the metal piece that would like hold the rocker in place on the other part that was moving, just like busted out, and I could not get it to go back in. So we ended up needing to just kind of get rid of it, and we replaced it finally. So we got that new thing, we got the new Little Tykes play set, and then we also moved around our furniture in the living room. And like, we decided to take our couch from the side of the room where it was, and we actually put it in front of the gas fireplace that's in our apartment. Mostly because, for one, like, you know, it's summer, so we're not going to need the heat, but for two, like, we didn't even really use it that much this past winter, because like anytime we turned it on, like, there was just so much of like this like burning dust smell in the air along with the heat that was just like, the smell was bothering me all the time, but it irritates like Ashley's asthma and that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's really like, until I know how to like more thoroughly clean it, it's really not worth trying to use. So instead we put the couch in front of it, and that opened up the room so much more. It's like there's so much more the floor space now. So that'll be fun. It's a nice change to just kind of move stuff around anyway. Just like you feel like, especially after a year of being in our houses, like, it's like let's change it up a bit and make it feel a little different. So that's what we did there. Ashley got her second COVID shot, so me and Ashley are both now fully vaccinated. Yay! And the CDC, I think, just announced that it's like, hey, if you're outside and not around too many people, you don't have to have a mask on, which I think pretty much everyone was kind of doing anyway. So yay, thanks CDC for making it official, but at the same time, pretty much everybody was doing that already. Let's see, other news. I talked about last week, Breath of the Wild. I was almost done. I decided to finish it this past weekend. I'll put finish in quotes. It was one of the more lackluster like finishes to a game, but I think that's just because like the nature of the game, like, stated at the very beginning, like, you need to go to Hyrule Castle and fight Ganon. And like, so like, you've known that from like the very start of the game, that's where the game was going to end. And like, I think the game was more meant to be about like basically exploring at your whim and like doing what you wanted to do with the game. And like the ending of it was just kind of more of a formality than anything else, which is why I think it kind of felt lackluster to me. And I guess spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't want to know how it ends. But like you beat him, and then Zelda is freed, and she's like, "Oh hey, do you remember me?" And then that's where it like stops. It was just kind of like that. That's it. All right. And then like we looked into it. There was actually a little bit more to it with like I mean, it really wasn't worth too much more. But like once you collect all the memories that you need to collect in the game, like it adds on kind of like the next step in their journey. Like like Link and Zelda are gonna go help restore Hyrule in some way, shape, or form. Like I don't understand why they animated her this way, but like Zelda just ends on this like most awkward happy face, and it's like what? Like both me and Ashley when we saw it, it's like why is she making that face? Like it doesn't make any sense. Um, but anyway, so I mean, like honestly, overall, like the game is amazing. With just like how varied the like gameplay is, and like you can basically like tailor your gameplay to however you want to play it. Um, and just like all like the variables that entails on like how what the game has to like define and in its rule set to allow you to do so many different things. um it's very vast, so I mean like no knowing what little I know of like game design, it struck me as incredibly impressive, how much you have available to you in that game. um so yeah, but I did find out that once you beat Ganon, a percentage complete shows up on your map, and I have all the shrines. Like I said last week, I wanted to get all the shrines, and I would consider that complete. All the stuff that I've done only accounts for 32.42% of whatever it's tracking as completion. And I was just like, how in the like I did all of that and that's only a third of the game? What the heck? So I guess I'll keep poking at it just to see what else I can find in there, maybe. But outside of that, I don't know how much I'm going to do unless I decide on getting the downloaded extra content that you can get. I don't know how I feel about that kind of I don't know how to. Sorry, I don't know how I feel about DCL, sorry, or DLC. There we go. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy into that or not, but time will tell on that. Okay, so there was something that I saw on YouTube the other day that I was considering talking about. I don't know that I have fully thought out ideas on exactly what I think about it, so maybe I'll just kind of stumble through stupidly on what thoughts strike me as I'm talking about on here, and if you want to check it out, you can. So there's this YouTuber, Lindsay Ellis. I don't know if it's an actual profession or not, but she writes essays really, really well. Like, I don't know if an essayist is a thing, but if it was, she's definitely very good at it. But she basically did this video about Twitter and how toxic cancel culture is in the Twitter like social media. And just like the more I was listening to what she was talking about, the more I was just like yeah, no, and so yeah, so I'll probably link the actual video in for mine, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. But I mean it's over an hour, so I mean like, because I mean she does these long draft discussions and stuff, so if you're interested, definitely check it out. But yeah, it's just, I feel like social media has so much more of a negative effect than a positive effect on people, and like it gives people a sense of anonymity to the point that they feel like they can get away with a lot of stuff. And I mean like in general, like people already just have this kind of innate mob mentality just kind of ingrained somewhere in our DNA, that's like already ingrained in us to do, whether we think it's for a good reason or a bad reason. And that's where her discussion kind of goes into this cancel culture stuff, because like a lot, like finding somebody who either said something wrong or did something wrong, it's understandable for a lot of people to have this like reaction of like, no, we should do something about it, we should fight back or something like that. And when you can do it with the anonymity that the internet provides and that kind of stuff, it makes people a lot more prone to jump on it, and I mean, but at the same time, it kind of, I feel like it's a double-edged sword that people don't respect, essentially, because like if someone was on the internet making a joke 7 years ago, are they even the same person 7 years later to be critiqued? Like if you make a bad joke, in like for one, like you posted on social media, like potentially void of context around it. Like it's void of your own personal context of like where you are at the time, how old you are at the time, what was causing you to think these things at the time, and then like somebody can just like go back in your history and like grab words and like, oh, look what they said however many years ago, and it's just like void of of so much context, like it doesn't even like ring the same. And I mean, not to mention that it's like, since it's just in like text versus actual voice, like you don't have inflection, you don't like is it satirical, is it not, like there's so many question marks around those kind of things. And when people just jump on each other based on like, oh, look at this evidence that I found and I can immediately pin you as a bad person, and it's just like, it's not, it turns so vicious so fast. And it's like, and that's kind of what's like, and I kind of agree with Lindsay's main point about how it like it's like the viciousness of what like cancel culture started off in a place and is definitely not in that place anymore. It's so much more vicious and personal and vindictive for a lot of unnecessary reasons. And it also neglects to acknowledge that like people can grow and learn and change, and like who like statements that are made in years past don't necessarily ring for somebody, like don't ring true for somebody in their current life, and but it like the internet doesn't forget, essentially. Like I know there's another YouTuber, Phil DeFranco, that says that a lot. And I definitely understand, but it's like social media is good in a lot of ways, but in the same, like I said, it's a double-edged sword, because on this the exact same way, it can be ridiculous and unforgiving in a lot of different ways. I mean, that's honestly, it's one of the reasons why I would, I've hesitated to even do these kind of things up until I started in October, like putting anything on social media, because it's like, I don't know who's gonna find this in years from now. I don't like you're supposed to be thinking in your teens how a tweet that you posted online is going to impact your career in however long, 10 years or whatever. It's like that kind of thought process is absolutely ridiculous. If you're trying to let people like talk free and say what they want and that kind of stuff, you have to kind of also accept that like maybe they're going to say something offensive, maybe they're going to say something off color, maybe they're going to say something that doesn't make sense, and allow for the possibility of the past not defining the present and impacting the future. So I don't know. So lots of thoughts about that. Anyway, so I'm kind of starting to ramble, so I'm going to cut myself off. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time. Catch you later.